Hello everyone, welcome to nETSETOS. Today in this video we will see how to make login page to your website. A couple of days ago I was making a website. While coming to login page I was stuck, so I thought to make a video on this. After this video series you will get to see such login page where you need to give some credentials and then click on login page. But at the same time we will have the other options as well, where we can sign in with Facebook, Twitter or Google. If you don't have any account on any of these, you can register here itself. So let's get started. Here I have divided this video into 4 parts. So first I'll be creating a social website project, and then I'll be using Django Authentication Framework, and here we will create login view, logout view, and for password I'll use 2 views, changing password as well as resetting password. And thereafter we will create user registration view, and then we'll be extending the user model with a custom profile model. And thereafter we'll be adding social authentication to our site, where we'll be running the development server and also authentication using Facebook, Twitter and Google will be activated on our site. So for that, first we need to make a website. So we will go to the location where we need to make a file. This project will be completely from the scratch. So here I'll type CMD. Now the first step to create the virtual environment. So the step to create virtual environment is python -m venv and then the environment in which I want to create my virtual environment. So I'll be keeping the name as bookmarks. So env/bookmarks. Let's see. Here we got the environment where bookmarks resides. Here I need to go to scripts, and inside script I need to activate it. So we will follow the same. Here I'll go to env. Inside env there will be bookmarks. Inside bookmarks there will be scripts, and here we need to activate it. So here we are in virtual environment. Now the first step, we need to install Django. So for that I'll write pip install Django, the latest version 3.0. Start for the latest version, and we'll press enter here. Here Django is installing. Successfully installed. Now the next step will be to create a project. So here I'll write Django admin start project. Let's keep it the name as bookmarks. Now we will go inside bookmarks. Let's have a look of the project. Here is my project where I have by default manage.py, and here we have settings file, and with that we have URLs ASGI and WSGI. Now the next step will be to create an application inside bookmarks. So we are already in bookmarks, and here I'll create a application. So here I'll type Django admin start app account. The application name will be account, and here I'll press enter. We have an application created where you will find admin, apps, models, test, views, Python file created. Now the next step, I'll open PyCharm so that we can have a look of all Python files. So here we have bookmarks project. Inside bookmarks we have account as application. Now I will go to settings file, where you can see debug, allowed host, middleware, and here I'll go to installed apps, where I need to register about my application which I have created. Basically this is the location of the project where it should know each and every applications which are running inside the project. So here inside quotes, I'll write account.apps.account.config. And don't forget to put comma over here. Now I have registered this app inside installed app. But for running it in the project, I need to migrate it. So I'll go to CMD and here I will type python manage.py migrate. And here all migrations which are running are set to be OK. That means it has migrated successfully. Next, we will build an authentication system into our project using Django Authentication Framework. So for that, we should know the authentication system, which include views for common user actions such as login, logout, password change, password reset. So here authentication framework is located at django.contrib.auth, which is by default in installed app, and it is used by other Django contrib packages. So whenever we create a new Django project using start project command, the authentication framework is included in the default setting of a project. It consists this Django contrib auth, content type, session, admins, etc. And with that, we are also getting authentication middleware and session middleware, where authentication middleware associates user with request using session, whereas session middleware handles the current session across request. So basically middleware are classes with methods that are globally executed during this request, or it can be response phases also. So we'll be using this middleware classes on several locations throughout this journey. Now the first thing, we need to create a login view. So for that, first thing we will get username and password, which is posted by the user using login form. Then we will authenticate the user against the data stored in the database. Then we will check whether the user is active or not. And fourthly, we will log the user into the website and start an authenticated session. So the first thing, we will get the username and password which is posted by the user. Secondly, we will authenticate the user against the data which is stored in the database. Then we will check whether user is active or not, and then we will log the user into the website and start an authenticated session. So the first most thing, we will go to the application, and inside application I'll create a Python file with the name forms.py, and here we will write some code. So the first point will be to import forms. So I'll write from Django import forms. Then I'll create a class with the name login form, which will be inherited from forms.form. If you see the basic login form, we have two credentials, username and password. So we will take both username and password. Username we will take in char field. So I'll write forms.char field, and same for password. But in password we will have a widget where we will give forms.password input. This is, we are taking in password input for the sake of security reasons. Now this form will be used to authenticate users against the database. So for that we will go to views.py. Here we already have from Django.shortcuts import random. Now we will import more. So down below I'll write from Django.shortcuts. We need to import HTTP response. Then I'll import authenticate and login, which will be imported from Django.contrib.auth. So here from Django form.contrib.auth. We need to import authenticate as well as login. Then I'll import login form. So here I'll write from.forms import. I'll import login form. This login form, it is showing red mark. This should be login form. Completely fine. Now we will create a function. So I'll delete this, and here I'll create user_login, which will have request, and here I need to check whether my request.method is post or get. So here I'll type if request.method is post, then form will be equal to login form having request.post. Then the form which we have submitted is valid. If it is, then we will have cd equal to form.cleanData, and user will have authenticate request. With that we will have username equal to cd username, which will provide there. Similarly, I'll do for password. I'll take password. This should be square bracket here too. Then we will give the condition if user is not none, then it will check. If user is active, then login will have request user, and it will return HTTP response with authenticated successfully. If it is not active, then in else part it will return HTTP response disabled account. This is just for taking the user into confidence. If his account is active, then it will authenticate, otherwise it will be a disabled account to let him know that you can't log in into it. And if user is none, then in else it will return HTTP response that it is an invalid login. And the request, if it is get, it will go to else part, and form equal to login form, and outside it will return render request account in login form, login.html, which will create now. Here we will have form. So this is what the basic login form view does. When the user is with a get request, we will instantiate a new login form using form equal to login form. Here it will be displayed it in the template. But what if when the user submits the form via post? First, it will instantiate the form with the submitted data, form equal to login form. Then it will check whether form is valid with form.isValid. If it is not valid, you will display the error in your template that the user hasn't filled one of the fields. But if the submitted data is valid, we will authenticate the user against the database using authenticate method. This method takes the request object, username object, and the password parameter, and will return the user object if the user has successfully authenticated or none otherwise. And if the user was successfully authenticated, we will check whether the user is active. This is an attribute of Django user model. If user is not active, then we will have our HTTP response, which is disabled account. If user is active, we will log the user into the website, and we will set the user in the session by login method, and will return the authenticated successfully message. Now the next thing, we need to create a URL for this view. So for that, I'll go to account, And here I'll create a new Python file with the name URLs. So first of all, in the URL we will import path. So I'll write from Django.urls import path. Then I need to import views, this one. So here I'll write from dot import views. Then in URL patterns we will have the post views. So here I'll write path, the login page, where we will have views dot user underscore login, and here we will have name as login. Then I'll go to the main URLs, which is inside the project, and here I'll include here, and we already have admin for administration site. Now inside URL patterns we have admin for administration site. Now here I'll take path for account application, which will include, it should be I, and inside include we will have accounts.urls. So after this, the login view can now be accessed by the URLs. Now it is time to create a template for this view. Since we don't have any template for this project, we can start by creating a base template over here that can be extended by the login template. So here inside account application, I'll create a directory which I'll name it as templates. Inside templates, I'll create a new directory, account, and inside account I will have HTML file with the name login. That's what we wanted. And with this, inside templates and in parallel to account, I'll create a new HTML with the name base. So the first most thing, I will add this base.html, and here first of all I load all static files. Delete this, and here we will have HTML. Inside HTML we will have head, and inside head we will have title. Let's keep the title as blog title, and we will end it here itself, and blog. Here we will have a link, href. Here I will take static, where it will take from CSS. Let's take base.css as we have taken in the last project. Let's end it over here, and here I'll include style sheet. Now our head part will end. Now I'll create the body for this HTML, inside which I'll take div id is equal to header, and here I'll take span. The class for it will be logo, and here let's keep it as bookmarks. Then after this div id is equal to header, I'll create for the content. I'll name here content. Inside content I will take blog title, where here I will change it to content. Let's take it to next line, and then our body and HTML ends over here. So this will be the base template for our website. So this is same as our previous project, which includes CSS style in the main template. Here we will have base.css, where I'll have some line of code over here. This I'll attach in the GitHub link, which will be mentioned in the description below. So what I'll do, I'll take this base.css and will save inside bookmarks, going to account, and here I'll create a new folder with the name static, and we'll go inside and we'll save over here. So here the base template where we have title block and content block. Now we will go to login.html, and first of all I'll delete this and will extend base.html. Then I'll have the title for block and we will keep it as login. Let's end this and block. And for content block, I'll take the same and here I'll fill content. For login, I'll take this in h1 tag. Then I'll write, please use the following form to login. And then we will see whether form method is post or not. If it is post, it will have form.s_p, and for post we always use csrf, so I'll write csrf_token. And then let's put the submit button. In input type submit, we need to give its value as login. So this is the template which includes the form instantiated in the view. Since our form will be submitted via post, we will include here csrf token. This is the template tag for cross-site request forgery protection. Since we don't have any users in our database, we will need to create a super user first in order to be able to access the administration site to manage other user. So we will go to CMD. First of all, I'll create super user. So I'll write python manage.py create super user. Username, I'll keep admin. Email address as it is, and password, I'll keep the password again, and super user created successfully. Now I'll run the server. So for that I'll write python manage.py run server. So first of all I'll go to my browser, and here I'll take 127.0.1.8000 admin, and here we have the administration site. Access the administration site using the credential. I'll give mine, and here it is. Here we will see the Django administration site including user and group model of our Django Authentication Framework. Now for creating a new user using this administration site, I'll go to account, inside account login. Here it is giving error in login HTML where I haven't given the codes properly. So I'll go to views.py. Here codes are proper, but it should be within account, so it should be slash instead of comma. So I'll save this and will open the same using refresh, and here we are. We got our login page where I need to give the username and password. Now here I need to give username. So here if I give test and will log in without password, it will ask me to fill this password first before login, as this form is not valid, and will display the error which we have mentioned in views. Here some of the modern browsers will prevent us from submitting the form with empty fields. This is because of form validation done by the browser based on field types and the restriction per field. So in this case the form won't be submitted, and the browser will display an error message for the fields which are wrong, as it was displayed over here. Now if you enter a non-existent user, let's say I have given the test, and the password I'll give some random password, and will log in here. It will show me the message it is an invalid login. Now if I give the valid credentials, admin and the password, and we'll log in here, as this was the valid credentials, correct username and password, we will get authenticated successfully. Let's put space over here and with capital S. We have seen the login view, which we have created to understand the process of user authentication. Now we will see the class-based views, as it is provided to deal with authentication. Here Django provides contrib.auth.views, and this we have already defined in settings.py. Basically we'll be making login view and logout view separately, and thereafter we will create for password change view. Here we'll be creating two views for password change, and when the password change is done, the separate view, so that it will handle the password changes. And thereafter we will see password reset view, password reset done view, password reset confirm view, and then password reset complete view. So we'll be creating separate HTML pages for all of them. So let's go to PyCharm, and here we'll be going for login view and logout view to see how it looks. So before creating login and logout views, we will go to the URLs in the account application and we'll make some minor changes. Here we see there is a path and views already imported. Now we need to import views from django.contrib.auth. Import views as auth_views. Now we have a login page already. Let's comment this and we will make a new path for login and logout views. So here I'll define for login, same for logout. Here I'll write logout. Now for login, I have auth_views.login view, which will have .s_view, and its name will be login. And here I'll put comma. The same I'll define for logout. Here I'll write logout, and here we will have out. So here we have commented out the URL pattern for user login. This login view of Django Authentication Framework. Here we need to add login and logout of login view and logout view. Now for creating login and logout view, we will create a new directory inside accounts, and in templates here I'll create a new directory with the name registration. This will be the default path where Django authentication views expect our authentication templates to be. So basically we have used django.contrib.auth module, which includes some of the authentication templates which will be used for the administration side. When we go to settings.py, here we have placed this account application at installed app, so that Django uses our templates by default. Now I'll go to registration. Here I'll create a HTML file with the name login. Now I'll go to account, and here we have used the login HTML. I'll just copy it here in registration, and here we'll be making some few changes. First of all, it will extend base.html and login will be the title. After login, I'll give enter, and here I'll define if form.error s, it will have p tag with the message your username and password didn't match. Please try again. Let's give some exclamation mark here. And if there is no error, it will go to else part and will print, please use the following form to log in. And here our if will end. Then let's keep this in div class, which will have login form. Let's define this form inside this div class. And here I'll define action. Here we will have URL, login, and method will be post. And here we will have input type, which will be hidden, name equal to next, and value will be next. And here we will close this. So basically this login template is quite similar to the one which we have created before for the account HTML. But here Django uses authentication form, which is located at django.contrib.auth. Here this form is trying to authenticate the user and raises a validation error. If the login is unsuccessful, it will go to form.errors and it will print your username and password didn't match. Please try again. And if it is correct, it will go to else part and it will log in with our credentials. Also, we have added a hidden HTML over here to submit the value of variable called next. This variable is first set by login view when you pass the next parameter in the request. So basically next parameter has to be a URL. If this parameter is given, the Django login view will redirect the user to the given URL after a successful login. Now after this, I'll go to logout HTML. So for this, I'll go to registration and registration new HTML, which I'll name it as logout. And here also I'll do the same. I'll copy from account and in logout I'll copy the same. Here it is extending from base.html, and in block title it should be logout. In block content, here it will have logout in h1 tag, and in p tag we will change this to you have been successfully logged out. And here we don't need this form. Instead of this form, I'll give a link over here. You can a href where it will be directed to URL login, and here I'll write login again, and here I'll put. So basically this is the template that Django will display after the user's logout. Now after adding the URL patterns and the template for login and logout views, we have our website ready for our users to log in using Django authentication views. Now we will create a new view to display a dashboard, because when user log in to their account, they will have their dashboard ready for them. So for that, I will go to views, and here I'll be making a function with the name dashboard. So we will import first of all login required, which will be imported from django.contrib.auth.decorators. Here we need login required. Now I'll create a function with the name dashboard, which will be inherited from request, and it will return render request. Here it will have account dashboard.html. This we will create in some time, and here we will have section. Let's keep this in quotes, dashboard. Let's have this login required as decorator. So here we have decorated our view with the login required decorator of the authentication framework. The login required decorator checks whether the current user is authenticated. If the user is authenticated, it executes the decorated view. If the user is not authenticated, it will redirect the user to the login URL with the original requested URL. And that requested URL will be with a get parameter named next. So by doing this, login view will redirect user to the URL that they were trying to access. Here we have also defined this section as a variable. We will use this variable to track the site section that the user is browsing. Now here multiple views may correspond to the same section. This is the simple way to define the section that each view corresponds to. Now the next thing, I need to create a template for this dashboard view. So I'll go to templates, inside account, I'll create a new HTML file with the name dashboard. Let's take first two commands, and here I'll copy this where it is extending base.html and title is dashboard. Here we have blog title. Now we need to create blog content. For blog content, we should have dashboard in our h1 tag, and here in p tag I'll welcome to your dashboard. Let's end this by end block. Now I'll add this view.dashboard in the URLs of our account application. So here let's give for our main page. So for main page, I'll keep this empty, and here we will have views.dashboard and name will be dashboard. Now I'll go to settings. Let's close the rest files over here, and here we have settings.py. Here I'll go down at the last, and here I'll define login underscore redirect underscore URL, which will be our dashboard. Then we will have login underscore URL, which will be login, and for logout URL we will have logout. So basically login underscore redirect underscore URL tells Django which URL to redirect the user after a successful login. Login URL is an URL to redirect the user to login, whereas logout URL is the URL to redirect the user to logout. So for logout URL to log out the user, login URL to log the user, whereas login redirect URL will help user to select which URL to redirect the user. So basically we are using the names of URL patterns that we have previously defined in URLs. These are the paths for it. Now let's make few changes in the base.html so that we can have a nice view of our dashboard. So first of all, inside header, after span, I'll define if request dot user dot is underscore authenticated. It will have UL class, which is menu, and here we will have li if section equal to dashboard, class will be selected, and here it will end if. Here I'll give the link for href. Here we will have URL. Inside this we will have dashboard link, and here we will print my dashboard, and here we will end this li, and again I'll create this 2 more times. First is for dashboard, second for images. Here we will have images. I'll name it as images. I'll define for people. And here I'll define people. And here we have started this if. We need to end if. Outside this UL, I'll simply write over here end if. Then I'll define the span class, which is for user, and here we will have if request dot user dot is authenticated, then it will print hello, the name of request dot user dot first underscore name, and here it will have the link of URL login, and here it will print login, and here if will end with end if, and then we will call this span above. Now when I come down, here we have defined for if condition. Now let's check for else condition also. If request.user is authenticated, it will print hello, the first name, and here it will have log out diverted to out, else here it will go to else if, it will be diverted to log in. As like this. So basically here it will go to login page. Now if I check in URLs, here it will go to by default login view, which Django itself provides. Now if I check logout, here also it has logout view, which is giving the template name registration. In registration we will have logedout.html. This file which is inside registration should be named as, I'll go to refactor, rename logedout.html. I'll verify the name. It should be the same name as it is. So So I'll just refactor it, rename logout.html, refactor, do refactor, so that in registration we have login HTML and logout HTML. And in CSS there should be a new directory where this base file should be residing, as like this. Inside account there should be static, inside static there should be a CSS directory, and inside CSS we'll have base.css. Now if I'll check in dashboard, there will be welcome to your dashboard end block, and here it is perfect. Views.py, hope everything is perfect by now. But here make sure this account app should be defined on first line of installed apps. It makes a major difference. In base.html it should be else. Let's save it. So after all these activities, let's have a look on the Chrome, and here I'll type 127.0.0:8000/account login, and here we are. We got login page to our website where I'll give my credentials. Here I have username as admin, it is for Rakesh, and the password I'll type over here. And as soon as I log in here I got my dashboard. Welcome to your dashboard. Here I have my dashboard, images, people. I need to put images over here. Here it also says hello Rakesh. Now if I log out from here, it says you have been successfully logged out. You can log in again. Then I'll click over here again, and I got my login page. So this is how we can create login page over here. After login, logout, what if a user comes to the website but he forgets the password? So for that we will integrate Django authentication views for a password change. Let's see how. So we'll go to PyCharm. Now we have a login page ready for our site. After this, we want our user to be able to change their password after they log in to our site. Now I'll open our application in account. Here I'll enter to urls.py, and here we need to set the path for password change. These were for the views of post. Now I'll write for password change. Down here I'll set the path, password underscore change. We will have auth underscore views dot password change view dot as underscore view. Now if I enter here, see, there is by default class made by Django. We just need to have this password change view for password change, and here I'll set the name as password underscore change. And with this I'll also make the path for password done. When my password has been changed, I'll be having a view after changing the password. That view also I want. So for that I'll just write password underscore change done. And for that also we have the class given by Django, password change done view, and the name will be password underscore change underscore done, and we will put comma over here. Now the password change view will handle the form to change the password, whereas password change done view will display a success message after the user has successfully changed their password. Now we need to create a template for both of them. So for that, I'll go to templates. Inside template, we have registration. When I open registration, I'll make a new HTML file with the name password underscore change underscore form. Now for password underscore change, I'll take the help of login. We'll copy here in password underscore change underscore form. Now we will make a few changes over here. First of all, it is extending base.html. In title, I'll simply write change your password. The same I'll copy over here in the content in h1 tag. Here there will not be any error, so I'll remove if and else. In p tag, I'll give use the form below to change the password, or rather your password. I don't want this. Then login is not needed. Here I'll give form where there will be CSRF token, but before this I'll give input type. Let's define this in p tag. Here I'll apply submit button where the value will be change. Then we'll have CSRF token and the form closed. And here we have form, so define if my form method is post, then we will have form.s_p and here it will submit. As this is the password change, we can't take get method over here. Now we have password change template, which includes the form to change the password. Now after this, we need to make the other HTML, which we have taken over here, password underscore change underscore done. So I'll create in the same place where I have created for password underscore change. Here I'll take the HTML file with the name password underscore change underscore done. Here I'll take simply the help of logout and will paste over here in password underscore change underscore done. Now let's make few changes over here. First, it is extending base.html. Then in title, I'll give password changed. h1 tag also will give the same message. In p tag, I'll give your password has been changed successfully. So here we have password underscore change underscore done, the HTML file for after password change and the HTML file for password change. Ready for us? Let's check whether it is working in our browser or not, then we'll proceed further. So as I have taken the URL password underscore change, inside account we will take enter. Here if I am not logged in, the browser will redirect to my login page. So I'll give the username and password admin, which is for Rakesh, and the password, and here I'll log in. As it is redirected me to the password underscore change, I got change your password form over here. Now I need to fill this form with your current password and the new password which I want to change it with. And with that, I need to give the password confirmation, the same password which I have taken over here, and here the security things has been defined in this class password change view by Django itself. So we are getting this by default. So we can't change here and we don't want to, because everything is provided by Django. So Django is providing everything. It's such an easy thing to make use of it. So let's give our old password. Here I'll give my new password, the same here as well, and then I'll click on change. You'll see the success page where we have password changed and it is saying your password has been changed successfully. Now let's log out from here and we will log in again with our new password now. Let's log in and we are logged in with our new password. So it's working perfectly. Now we'll be working on how to reset the password. So for resetting password, I'll go to URL patterns. Here we already made for login, logout, password change done. Now I need to make for password resetting. So here I'll name it reset password. So for resetting password, first I need to make for resetting password and for the path after resetting the password. So for that I'll take the help of both. I'll copy over here and we'll make few changes over here. So first is password underscore reset, and this will redirect us to the password reset view, which is by default provided by the Django itself. And these are all part of Django.contrib.auth, which we have provided in the settings. Django.contrib.auth, these are the part of password reset view. If I go over here, you can see there is email template name, extra email context. These are the fields which are defined by Django itself. Now let's make changes in URLs itself, where we have auth underscore views dot password reset view dot sview. Then I'll change the name to password underscore reset. After resetting the password, we'll get the page. So for that I'll give password underscore reset done, where it will be going for password reset. See here we have password reset view, password reset complete view, password reset confirm view, done view, and reset form. We'll be making use of all of them, don't worry. So here I want password reset done view and .sview, and here we'll give password underscore reset underscore done. Let's define the password confirm view here itself, and with that we will have password complete view here itself. So I'll copy this 2 times, and here I want password reset first of all confirm view, and in the second I want password reset complete view, and here we will have password underscore reset confirm, same for complete. Here let's name it as reset underscore done, while for reset confirm there will be twist here. So let's make reset slash, here I need to give the token. Let's give UID64 token, then slash, and here we have commas over here. Now we need to add a new file in our registration. Let's close everything so that we can be knowing inside account, inside templates, inside registration, we'll be making a new template for password underscore reset underscore form. Here also I'll take the help of password underscore change and will copy in password underscore reset form. Let's shift a bit. Now first of all it will extend base.html. Then here I'll just give reset your password. Then when entering to block content, here I'll ask forgotten your password. Then in p tag, here I'll give enter your email address to obtain a new password. And here form method will be post form.s_p, and here we will have submit send email. This will be submit button for send, then it will be submitted by CSRF token as it is the post method. Then form close. Here we have div which we haven't removed. Thank God we have copied from here so that I can remove from here itself. Otherwise it would have given the error. Fine enough. Now let's create one more HTML file. Here itself I'll make a HTML file password_reset_email. So this template will be used to render email which will be sent to user to reset the password. So this will be the email form. So instead of writing an HTML form, we need to give a email version for this. So here I'll write first the message. Let's write someone asked for password reset for email. Here I'll give the email from where I need to give this message, and here I'll give follow the link below. Give colon over here, and here I need to give the protocol colon / and the domain, and here I need to give the URL link password_reset_confirm, and here I'll take the same token which I have submitted for this. So here I'll write after space UIDB 64 is equal UID token equal to token, and here we will give the message your username in case you have forgotten, because I usually forget my username. Here I'll give user.get_username. So here the password reset email is ready for us. Here it includes the reset token which is generated by the view. Now we will create the another file which will be password_reset_done. As the name suggests, this will be the page after resetting the password. So here I'll shift a bit. I'll take the help of password change done, and here I'll copy it. So first of all, it will extend base.html. Here I'll give the message reset your password. The same message I'll give in the content h1 tag. Now in p tag we need to inform the user that we have emailed the instructions for setting the password. Let's write we should write like we have emailed you instructions for setting your password, right? And here we also need to tell them if they didn't got the password, then they need to check whether they have entered the address right or not. So I'll take the help of p tag, will copy it below, and here I'll write the message if you don't receive an email, please make sure entered the address you registered with. And then we have end block. That's enough, I guess. Now we have made for password reset done view. Now we will go for password confirm view. So I'll go to registration and will make a new template for password underscore reset underscore confirm. Let's take the help of password reset form. Here I'll copy the same. So first of all, it is extending base.html. Then in title we have reset your password. We will take it as it is. In content also I'll give reset your password. Then here I'll make use of if condition valid link. Here we will give the message, please enter your new password twice. And this form method will be submitted with post. Here we will make use of CSRF token, and down below I'll give the message. Here itself I'll give the and if before end block, otherwise I'll forget. Then we have form.sp. Let's shift it down below, and it will be the submit button for change my password. This form will be submitted. Then I'll give the else condition, where it will give the message in p tag. Here I need to mention the otherwise case. If the password link was invalid, possibly because it has been already used, because we don't remember, so that we need to mention over here that the password reset link was invalid, possibly because it has already been used. Please request a new password reset. Perfect. So in this template we check whether the link for resetting the password is valid or not. The view password reset confirm checks the validity of the token provided in the URL, which we have mentioned here. This will be confirmed over here. If the link is valid, we will display the user password reset form. Users can only set a new password if they have a valid reset password link. Now if I go to URLs, we are left with password reset complete view. So for this I need to create a template. I'll go inside registration, will make a template in HTML with the name password underscore reset underscore complete. Here basically just we need to give the link to the login after the resetting has been completed. So I'll go to logout, because in logout HTML we had all links to the login also, so it's perfect for copying over here. Let's shift a bit, and here I'll copy it. So first of all we are extending base.html, then here I'll give the message password reset, then in block content I'll give the message password set. Tell user your password has been set. Then you can log in again. Instead of again I'll give now. And then we will go to login.html. Here also we need to give the link for if we forget the password. After this form element, I'll give in p tag a href the link URL to password reset. Then I'll close this, and here I'll give the message if I've forgotten my password. So for that, I'll give forgotten your password. So for this, I'll go to settings.py. Here we need to add SMTP because during development we can configure Django to write emails to the standard output instead of sending them through an SMTP server. Django provides an email backend to write emails to the console. So for this, I'll write email underscore backend equal to, in quotes, I need to write django.core.mail.backends.console.email with capital E backend. Here, this email backend indicates the class to use to send emails. It returns a browser to enter email address of an existing user. But this is helpful when you have your own SMTP server. Right now, I don't have my SMTP server, so I'll comment it and will come down. Here, I'll be taking use of Gmail. So I need to write email underscore host, which will be smtp.gmail.com. Then I'll be filling email port. The port number will be 587. Then host user underscore user. Here I need to give my email ID. Let's take for the time being abc@gmail.com. You need to give your own Gmail ID for this and its password. The password for Gmail, email underscore use underscore TLS. Make sure this password should be in quotes and TLS will set it to true. Here, instead of email host user, you have to give your own Gmail ID and the password of your Gmail. After setting your username and password, we need to check. We have made all the templates. Here we have made all the HTML. Now let's have a look on each of them. Here it should be just once. By mistakenly I have written this twice. Now we have been given a token which it will take from here and will go to URLs, and this will throw on password underscore reset underscore email. Now after all these activities, we will go to Chrome and will verify whether it is working well or not. So here I need to type 127.0.0 account log, and here you can see we will get forgotten your password. That's what we wanted. Now here we need to give the email, and the email which should be the registered one. This registration we can give on admin. So I'll copy this and here I'll give admin on administration side. If I see here in username, I have admin, blog and Reena. You need to have your Gmail ID on this user registered. If I open for mine, admin, it is registered with the name Rakesh Kumar and the email address is mine. Now after this, I'll go and will give the email. We'll click on send email. It will take some time. And here we have emailed you instructions for setting your password. Now I'll go to my Gmail ID. And here we got the message from nETSETOS. This I have clicked 2 times. So here I got someone asked for password reset for email, this, and here we got the link to reset the password, which includes token which is dynamically generated by Django. But make sure whenever you register any Gmail ID, you need to add migration. Going to console, you need to add python manage.py migrate. And once it get migrated, registered in your database, then you can send email to that user. We have seen the login page where we have seen the usage of this forgotten your password. Here we have integrated this with the views of Django Authentication Framework. You can create your own views if you want a different behavior. Now what if I want a fast-paced development? So for that, I just need not to have these auth paths. I'll comment it out, and here from the starting of this project, I'm telling you the importance of django.contrib.auth. Here we'll be including this with our function include, and we'll create a new path for it where I'll have include django.contrib.auth.urls, and don't forget to put comma over here. Now let's see whether it will work now or not. So for that, I'll check out. It's running. Now we will go to browser and we'll refresh this page. It's working well. Now you can log in, log out, reset your password, everything you can do. Now we will create our own user profile so that if any visitor visits my website, then he can also create his own user account. So let's see how. So we need to build a view to allow visitor to create a user account. For that, we will go to account, and here in forms, as here we need to create a simple view to allow user registration on our website. So here we will be creating a form to let the user enter our username, their real name and their password. So we will edit this forms.py. So first of all, I'll import user from same django.contrib.auth. So I'll just write from django.contrib.auth.models import user. Here below this login form class, I'll create a new class with the name user registration form, which will be inherited from forms.model form. Here we will take password and password too for user to set their password and confirm it here itself. So first of all, for creating the password, I'll take password, and for confirming the password, I'll take password too. Password I'll take in care field, which will have label equal to password, and widget will have forms dot password input. Let's copy this down in password 2 for confirming it, but here in label I'll take repeat, and rest will be same. Inside this I'll make a meta class which will have model equal to user, and the fields will be username, first name and the email. Here I need to define the function clean underscore password 2, which will have cd equal to self dot cleaned underscore data. Then we will set a condition cd password not equal to cd password 2. If my set password is not equal to confirmed password, then it is supposed to raise validation error, and here it will reflect the message passwords don't match. Here I'll not put this, or I can use backslash. Here I made use of this apostrophe. When I am putting the string, it can take this apostrophe as quotes. So for neglecting this quote, I need to use slash apostrophe so that it can ignore this apostrophe and the string will be here as it is. Right? Now I'm supposed to return password 2. So if I go above, we have created a model form for the user model. In this form, we included only username, first name and email. These are the fields of the model. These fields will be validated based on their corresponding fields. For example, if a user chooses a username which already exists, they will get validation error because username is a field defined with unique is equal to true. Here we have added password and password 2. As I told you, password is for user to set their password and password 2 for the user to confirm it. Then coming down, we have used clean underscore password 2 method to check the second password against the first one. And if they are not equal or they don't match, it will give validation error. Here Django also provides user creation form, which is provided by django.contrib.auth, and it is quite similar to this one, so you can use it if you want. Here after this we will go to views.py to add this class into this views. So here first I'll import user registration form, then I'll make a function down below with the name register request. Then it will verify if request.method is post, then user underscore form will be equal to user registration form request dot post. Then here we will verify if user underscore form dot is valid. Then here we will create a new user object but avoiding to save it. So here I'll write new underscore user, have user underscore form dot save, but I need not to save it right now. So for that I'll write commit is equal to false. Now here I need to set the chosen password. So for that I'll write new underscore user dot set underscore password, and inside this I should have user underscore form dot cleaned underscore data, and here we will have password. Now after this I'll save this new underscore user dot save. Then we need to return render request, where we will have account, inside account register underscore done .html. Here I'll take new underscore user, as we have introduced this new underscore user variable. So this is for when user form is valid. Now let's take the else condition also over here. Else it will take user underscore form user registration form, and here it will return render request the same register underscore done .html, and here we made use of user underscore form. So instead of new underscore user, we will have user underscore form. So here the view for creating our user account is quite simple. But for security reason, instead of saving the raw password, we have made this new underscore user and set the password in this new underscore user. And thereafter we have saved this new underscore user. Now we will go to URLs and we'll save this register method in the URLs. Here in views it's showing red mark. Perfect. Now I'll go to URLs inside account, and here I'll make one more path where it will have register method, and here it will call views.register, where name will be register. Now I'll create a new template with the same name, register. So for that I'll go inside templates, inside registration. I'll create a new HTML file with the name register. I'll take the help of login HTML and will paste over here in register.html, where first of all it is extending base.html. Then in title I'll write create an account. Then in block content we'll give the same as title, create an account. Now in paragraph I'll give please sign up using the following form. Put colon over here. Then we will include form method is equal to post. Now here I'll take user underscore form. Then we'll be using CSRF token, and here we will have submit button, the topic where the value will be create an account, give my account. So that's it. So here we have a template with the name register. Now let's create one more template with the name register underscore done. So going to the templates, here itself I'll create a new HTML file with the name register underscore done. And here register and register underscore done, I'll take this 2 of the HTML and will shift it to the account. It should be inside account. So here inside templates, inside account we have 4 templates. We have 4 HTML file, dashboard, login, register and register underscore done. Now coming to register underscore done, I'll take the logged out HTML, will copy from here and will paste in register underscore done. So here first of all it is extending base.html, and in title we will have welcome. Now in content I'll write welcome and the user's first name. So we have already created new underscore user, first underscore name. Let's put exclamation over here, and in p tag I'll give your account has been successfully created. And here we can give now you can, and here I'll give the login link, and here you can log in. No need to provide again. That's enough. Now let's see whether it is working well or not. If it is showing any error, then we'll correct then and there. So I'll go to the, here it is showing first name. Let's see whether I have used first name somewhere instead of first underscore name. So for that I'll check register.html, first underscore name, register. Let's check in forms. Yes, here it should be first underscore name. Now we'll go here, run the server again. It's working fine. Now I'll go to browser. Now if I go here, it is showing error as as it says it returned none. If I go to views, here views.py, yes, here it is not returning anything, and this is for post. If it is not post, then it will return this. Return should be parallel to if, and this was for post and this was for get method. Now here with return, let's save this, and here it's working fine. Let's go to browser, refresh it, and here we got welcome, your account has been successfully created. But here I want a registration page which we have created over there. Let's see in URLs. Here it should be register page only. As I have copied from here, it was register_done. It should be register page. Now if I refresh this, here we got create an account. Here we got so many errors. We get to learn from our mistakes. So the mistakes I'm doing, you should not do the same mistake. And here we need to fill our username, first name, email address, password, and then we need to repeat our password, or you can write confirm your password. Now let's fill the detail. For username, I'll give the name Alice, first name Alice, email address I'll give for me, password, the same password I'll give here, and I'll create my account. And we got register_done page after creating my page. Now when I click on login link, here I'll give the same username, my Alice, password, and then login. And here we got our dashboard. Here we can also add a link to registration. Now if I log out from here, then log in again, I want that sign up page here itself. So for that I'll go to PyCharm, and here inside registration I'll open login.html, and here in p tag, please use the following form to log in. I'll give the choice. If you don't have account, here I'll give up the link href of sign up page. So here I'll write percentile URL register, and here I'll give sign up here. Let's go to browser, account, login, and when I press enter here we got please use the following form to log in. If you don't have account, sign up here, and sign up form which we have to fill for logging in. So after this sign up page, we will see how to edit this sign up page, as well as we'll be extending this user model. Now we have sign up page with this basic fields. These fields are basically provided by Django Authentication Framework. Now if I wish to add some more fields over here, I can create a profile model which will contain all additional fields and one-to-one relationship with Django user model. So for one-to-one relationship, I need to use foreign key. With that, I'll use unique parameter. Unique parameter, I'll set it to true. Let's see. For that, I'll go to PyCharm, and here I'll open models.py, and here I'll add some code. By default, I got models imported from Django.db. Now I'll import settings from Django.conf import setting. Now I'll create a profile model. So for that, I'll make a class with name profile where it will inherit from models.model. Now I'll make a variable user models.one-to-one field. Here settings.auth_user_model, where on delete will be models.cascade. Now I want to add date of birth. So date_of_birth, which will have models. Here I'll use date field and I'll set blank is equal to true and null is equal to true. That means it is not mandatory to fill. Let's put a photo option. So for photo, we need to use image field. So here I'll write models.image field, and image field I need to give the address upload to, on which date it was uploaded. It will make a directory of users on which year, month, date, and here we will set it blank also true. Let's make a function over here, str, which will return with f string profile for user self.user.username. So here for user we have used one-to-one field, which allows us to associate profiles with their user. Here we will use cascade for on delete, so that its related profile also gets deleted when a user is deleted from here. Here we have taken for photo in image field. Here we need to install pillow library to handle this images. So for that we will go to cmd and I'll come out of this. Here it is giving type error. I need not to have this parameter inside. Let's see, by running here, pillow is not installed. So I'll come out of the server and here pip install pillow, its version 7.0.0. It is collecting pillow and here we got successfully installed. Now to enable Django for serving media files which are uploaded by the user with the development server, here we need to go to settings. In bookmarks we have settings.py. Now going down below, here we have static for static files. Now I'll write media URL. I'll copy this here above. For media files, I'll take media underscore URL. I'll have media and media underscore root. For root, I'll give the path os.path.join base underscore dir and the media. Here we have used media underscore URL and media underscore root. If you see media underscore URL, this is the base URL to serve this media files. This media files which are uploaded by the user. Whereas media underscore root is the path. Here we have built this path dynamically related to our project path so that our code can be more generic. Now we will go to URLs. Now inside URLs we have admin and path imported. Now we will import settings from Django.conf import settings, and at the same time we will import static also. I'll take static from Django.conf.urls .static. Now here we will see if settings.debug, this URL patterns will have static settings.media underscore URL, and the document underscore root will be equal to settings.media underscore root. In this way, Django development server will be in charge of serving the media files during development, and that is when this settings.debug is set to true. Now after making these changes, we need to migrate. So for that, I just need to go to cmd, and here we will type python manage.py make migrations. And here our one file has been migrated. Now I'll migrate python manage.py migrate. So here everything got into the database. Now we will go to PyCharm, and here in admin file we will register the profile model in the administration side. So we have admin imported by default, which has been provided by Django. Now we need to import the profile which we have made over here. So here I'll write from .models import profile. Then we will make a class with profile admin, and this will inherit from admin.model admin. And here it will have list display, which will have user, date of birth, and the photo. And at the same time we will make use of decorator admin.register from profile. Now after saving this, going to Chrome, but before that it is not running, so I need to make my server run. So python manage.py run server. Now let's check it out on Chrome. I'll go to admin page. I'll give the username and password. Here if you see, we got this profiles model in the administration side of our project. Now we will let our user to edit their profile on the website. So for that we will go to PyCharm, and here I need to edit forms.py. So for editing profile, I just need to import this profile model to forms. So here I want from .models import profile. Then we will make a new class where user can edit their forms. So here user edit form. Here we will have forms.model form. Here we will make meta class which will have model user, and the field for editing I want first name, first underscore name. If I user give last name, so last underscore name, and email. This is for user edit form. Now we will see the profile edit form. So I'll copy this for the model which we have made right now. So here I'll write profile, and with the same class meta, and here model will be profile, but here we will take date of birth and photo to be edited. So here we have used user edit form and profile edit form. User edit form will allow users to edit their first name, last name and email, which are attributes of built-in Django, because this package has been provided by Django itself. Now this profile we have made. So for this, users will edit this profile which you have saved in the custom profile model in the models. User will be able to edit their date of birth and upload a picture for their profile. Now the next, we will go to views and we will import profile. So from .models import profile, and here we will create the user profile, because when user register on our site, we will create an empty profile associated with them. So we should create a profile object manually using the administration side for the users that we have created before. So here, now after this, we will go to register view. Below save, here I'll create profile, the object for profile, objects dot create, where user equal to new underscore user, so that when user registers to our site, we will create an empty profile associated with them. Now we want our user can edit their profile by themselves. So for that, I'll go above and will import user edit form and profile edit form. So here I'll write user edit form and profile edit form, and down below we will make the function for editing edit request, where if request dot method is post, then we will use user underscore form as well as profile underscore form. User underscore form will have user edit form, where parameters will be instance equal to request dot user and data equal to request dot post. Now for profile edit form, it will be for profile, where instance will be request dot user dot profile, data will be request dot post, and here we will take one more parameter, files, for request dot files, and at the same time here I'll use the decorator login required. Now we will check user form and profile form are valid, and profile form dot is valid, then user form dot save and profile form dot save. Now what if it is a get? So for get request, then we will use this user edit form, where request dot user will be instance. Same for profile form. And here it will return render request account edit dot and user underscore form for profile form. So here going above, we have login required decorator, because users have to be authenticated to edit their profile. In this case, we are using two model forms, user edit form and profile edit form. Here user edit form is to store the data of the built-in user model, whereas Profile edit form will be storing the additional profile data which we have made in the model profile. Now to validate submitted data, we will execute is_valid. If both forms contain valid data, we will save both forms by using the function save, and it will be updated with the corresponding objects in the database. Now we will go to URLs of account application. And here we will give the path of edit page so that our user can edit their form going to this edit page. So here I'll write edit views dot edit, where name will be edit. Now finally we need to create edit template. So for that I'll go to templates. Inside account, I'll make a HTML file with the name edit. Now here I'll take the help of register and will copy in the edits.html. First of all, it will extend base.html. Let's give the title as edit your account. In the block content, it will have the same in h1 tag, and here we will write you can edit your account using the below form. Then this method will be post. Let's give the INC type for multi-part. Here there will be user form. With this we will have a custom profile also, profile underscore form. Then with the help of CSRF token, there will be submit button where I'll give the value as save your changes. That's it. So in the new thing we have used over here ENC type. This we have included so that we can enable file uploads over here. Now let's save this. Our server is running. Let's make account over here. Ferry03. Our first name is Ferry. And for the email address, let's give nETSETOS. Password, I'll give the same password for confirmation. And here we will get the account of Ferry. Now here I want to edit my form. For that we need to log out, log in again. Ferry03, password, login. Now I have to edit some information over here. So for that I'll open this in different tab. In edit we can see the first name, last name, email address, date of birth and photos in the file format where I can upload JPG in any format I want. So up till here we can edit the dashboard page, include the link to the edit profile and change password pages. Now after this I want this editing message on my dashboard. So for that I'll go to PyCharm, inside account, inside template, account, dashboard.html. Here I'll give the link of edit on my dashboard itself. So after this welcome to your dashboard, I'll give the link by ahref, the link of my edit page, edit, and here we will write the message edit your profile. Here I'll put let's see to our browser whether it is running. the server, it is running here. Now I'll go to my browser, refresh it, and here I got the edit your profile. Let's test it by clicking here. Here I got the edit page. Now after this, if user wants to interact with your platform, suppose if he commits any mistake, then there should be an error message. Or if this action gets completed, then a success message. Instead of giving manually, here in PyCharm settings, if we go above, Django provides django.contrib.messages by default at the time of creating the project. This is for displaying one-time notifications to our users. So this message framework provides a simple way to add messages to user. So let's see how we can create new messages. We can create new messages either by adding add_message, the method, or we can use these shortcuts where success messages appears when action gets completed, info for informational messages, warning for warning the user that he should not commit this action, error for error messages, debug, which will be removed or ignored in the production environment. So let's make use of this and add messages to our platform. So for this, we will go to PyCharm. Here in base.html, in div header ID, I'll give enter, and here we will give if messages ul class messages, and here we will make a for loop for message in messages. Here I'll create li class, message.tags. After closing this, inside we will have message save, and here we will give a href class equal to close, and the cross sign I'll use x, I'll use small x. Then I need to end this for loop and for and this and if outside unordered list and if. So here the message framework includes the context processor, which are used for Django.contrib.messages, which are in settings. Now if I come here, there is a templates which is for messages, and we can use this messages variable in our template to display all existing messages to the user. So for this, we will go to views.py and will edit the view. We will import messages first from Django.contrib, import messages. Then in edit, after the save, I'll add the line messages.success with request and the message you want to give, profile updated successfully. The same we can do for else. I'll create an else over here. If the user form is not valid, then it should create error message. So here it should give message.error with request, and here it should give the message error in updating your profile. Cool enough. Here we have added success message as well as error message. Now when I go to browser, let's edit our account. Here in last name, write Fernandez. Let's keep this as it is. Save your changes, and here we got the message profile updated successfully and the cross mark which we have written over there. Now if I give date of birth 56/6/7/66 and save changes, here it will give the message error in updating your profile. So here we got to know the usage of message framework as well, as it is giving the error also enter a valid date. Now we will be seeing custom authentication. So for building Facebook authentication, before that we will build a custom authentication backend. So for that we will go to PyCharm. In PyCharm, down below we will use authentication_backend. In authentication backend have lists for our project. One of them will be Django.contrib.auth.backends.model_backend. Here model backend authenticates user against the database using the model of Django.contrib.auth. When we comes to Django.contrib.auth, it provides authenticate function. Here Django provides a simple way to define our own authentication backends, as authentication backends is a class that provides two methods, authenticate and get user. Authenticate function takes the request user credentials as parameters and it will return a user object, whereas get user takes the user ID as parameter and will return user object. So for this we will go to bookmarks, account application. Inside account application, I'll make a new Python file with the name authentication, and we'll be making the class for authentication backend, and it will have function authenticate and get user. Let's create this. So I'll start making class email auth backend for object function authenticate, which will have request username and password. By default, let's put it none for both of them, and at the same time I'll define the second function get_user, which will have user ID as parameter. Now for authenticate function, it will return user object. So here we will put try user is equal to user dot objects dot get email is equal to username, and we need to import this user. So here we'll write from Django.contrib.auth.models import user, and here we will check if user.check password return user, else return none, and in except user dot does not exist, it will return none. Same for get user, we will use try except, and here it is not needed. Here it will return user dot objects dot get pk is equal to user underscore id, and rest will be same. So here authenticate method receives a request object and username and password as an optional parameter. And here we are trying to retrieve user with the given email address and check the password using the built-in check password. This is a method of user model, and this method handles the password hashing to compare the given password with the password stored in the database. Whereas coming to get user, here we will get the user through an ID provided in the user underscore ID parameter. Here Django uses the backend that authenticate the user to retrieve user object for duration of user session. Now after this we will go to settings, and here we have already added model backend. With this I'll add account.authentication.email auth backend. So here we kept the default model backend, which is used to authenticate with the username and password, and will include our own email based authentication backend. Now for this we will go to browser. Now if I give the username, let's say Ferry03, and my password, and when I log in over here, it will authenticate the user against each of the backends. Now what if I log out and will log in again and will give some random username for which password is any random. If I log in over here, it will not be able to authenticate because the profile is not getting the correct username with its password which we have set over here. Now we will be adding social authentication to our project. So for adding social authentication to our site, we'll be making use of Python social auth, which simplifies the process of adding social authentication. So here we have the GitHub repository for Python social auth. So we'll go to CMD, come out of the server, and we'll install with the help of pip install social auth app Django with the version 3.1.0. After it's successfully installed, we will include this social Django in settings, within installed apps, within quotes, I'll write social underscore Django, comma. Here this is the default application to add Python social auth to our Django project. Whenever we add any of the application in installed app, we need to migrate it. In CMD, I'll write python manage.py migrate, and here all the files are migrated. Now we need to add this social login URL patterns to our project. So PyCharm, within bookmarks, here we'll have URLs of our project. I'll set the path for social auth, which will include social underscore Django.urls, and namespace will be social. Now after a successful authentication, we will be directing user to localhost. Sometimes some of the social services will not allow to redirect user to localhost. They expect a domain name. So for that we will need a domain. So for Windows, I'll go to C drive, and in C drive I need to go to Windows, System32, drivers, etc, and here we have this host file. So when I open this with the help of Notepad, Here we have 127.0.0.1 for localhost. First of all, I'll copy this host folder to a different location. And here I'll open, will copy the same 127.0.0.1. Instead of localhost, I'll give nETSETOS.org. And here I will save. Now I have host file in my location. Now I need to copy and will take the same file into that location, replace the file in that destination. Here I'll continue. Now when I open here with the help of notepad, here it is there. Here don't try to save directly as it will not take. Now after this, I'll close both of the files. Now I'll go to the browser, but before that I need to run the server. And we'll go to browser. First of all, I need to give my domain name nETSETOS.org :8000 account login. And here we are. For getting this screen, I have already added my domain name, localhost, and the address of the host in allowed host. Before that, it was empty. And if we have the original one, let's see how it will be. Here it will show the error with disallowed host at this address. So for this, I need to give 3 of host and will refresh it. So here we have explicitly included localhost and the 127.0.1. This is in order to be able to access our site through localhost, which is the default Django behavior. Up till here, this was the first step. Now for the second step, we need to run the development server through HTTPS. So for HTTPS connection, we need TLS protocol. TLS stands for Transport Layer Security. This protocol is needed for a secure connection. So for this, we need to install Django extension. So I'll go to CMD, come out of the server, and here I need to install with the help of pip install Django extensions 2.2.5. Here it is asking for 2 equal to, and here it is downloading. Here Django extension is a third-party collection of custom extension for Django. Now after this, I need to install Workzeuik, which contains a debugger layer required for this run server plus. So here I'll give pip install Workzeuik equal to 0.16.0. After this, we need to install PyOpenSSL. So I'll write pip install PyOpenSSL. This is required for the TLS functionality of our run server. Here we will give this version 19.0.0. And after this, I'll go to PyCharm. In installed apps, I need to add Django extensions. Now we will use the management command run server plus, which is provided by this Django extensions. So I'll go to CMD, and here I need to write python manage.py run server plus crt file crt.crt. Here Django extension will generate a key and certificate automatically. Now I'll go to browser instead of this netsetoS.org, I'll give HTTPS hypertext protocol security : // here it says your connection is not private. Here I'll give HTTPS : / and enter here. And here we got login page with the help of this HTTPS. Here we got this not secure, which is showing the security warning, as we are using a self-generated certificate over here. Up till here, we have seen how to make a login page. If you forget your password, how you can go for it, as well as you can register here. Now, if we want to authenticate using Facebook, how we can do that? We will see now over here. So for that, we have a very beautiful site with the name developers.facebook.com. And here we need to go to create app. Here it will ask for manage business integration, integrate a third-party gaming app will take forever. Here it will ask for display name. I'll give, let's say, nETSETOS learning. nETSETOS e-learning. And here it will ask your email ID. I'll give mine, netsetos@gmail.com. Then create app ID. Here it will confirm whether the person who is logging in is not a robot. Need to check it out. Submit. And here we have our dashboard for this Facebook for developers. Now here we got Facebook login, setup, audience network. Here you can give your messenger, instant games. You can go for anything which you want. Now I'm here for Facebook login. So here I'll go for setup. Remember, you have this app ID which will be in use afterwards. So what I'll do, I'll open a new notepad and will copy this app ID. And here I need to go for Facebook login setup. Here it will ask for to get started which platform would I like. Here I want web. Then site URL. Here I'll give 8000. Rest I need to skip out. Next, or you can do next. Now the next you'll go to settings. Here in basic you'll find an app ID which I have already copied here, the same app ID, as well as this app secret key. Here you need to copy app ID and app secret. Now after this we will go to PyCharm. See, in the last we have made certificate. So here site bookmarks. And here first of all I need to write in apostrophe social.backends.facebook.auth 2. And afterwards down below I'll write social or Facebook key. Here I need to give the same key in apostrophe and then secret. For secret you can give your own secret, and here I have given my app ID as well as secret key. Now after this I'll go here. If you come down below it will ask for app domains. Here I'll give mine nETSETOS.org. Here you can give your app icon. Now after this I'll save the changes. Then I'll go to Facebook login settings. Make sure this client OAuth login, web OAuth login, enforced HTTPS and embedded browser OAuth should be yes. Then I'll come down and here we need to give valid OAuth redirect URLs. Here I need to give the login page where it should redirect to. So for me, I'll give https netsetos.org 8000 social auth complete Facebook, and then I'll save all changes. Now I need to make some changes in the login. I'll go to PyCharm. Inside account, templates, registration, I have my login.html. Now before this end block, I'll make a div class where I'll give social. Inside this I'll make UL for unordered, and inside UL I'll give li class which will be Facebook. Now inside this I need to give a link, ahref URL social begin space in quotes Facebook, and then I'll end this, and here I'll give the statement sign in with Facebook. Here we will have the login for Facebook. Here I'll give space. So after this we will go to Chrome, https netsetoS.org :8000 account login, and here we got sign in with Facebook. Now when I click here, it will authenticate with Facebook. It will ask continue as nETSETOS, and here we got our I'll go to incognito mode, and here I'll type https netsetoS.org 8000 account login. And here if you see the screen, we got sign in with Facebook. Now when I click here it is asking me to log into Facebook. I'll give my email address and password, and when I log in, and here we got the login with the help of nETSETOS. So this is how we can have Facebook login on our website. After signing in with Facebook, we want to sign in with Google. So how we can authenticate with the help of Google? So for that, we will take help of Google Cloud. So here we need to open console.cloud.google, where first of all we need to create project. Here I have my project created. If you have any problem in creating the project, I have many videos on Google Cloud, so you can go through it. It's very simple. After creating the project, I need to go to this navigation menu. When I click here, there is a API and services. Now here you need to go on credentials. Here there is a plus sign where you can create credentials. Click here. It will ask for API key, OAuth client ID. I need to go for OAuth client ID. Click on configure consent screen. Then user type external, create. Now there is a form. It will ask for verification status. It will be as it is, not published. Here I need to give application name. I'll give application name as nETSETOS space e-learning. Here I just need to give application name and authorized domain. For authorized domain, I have netsetos.org. After this, I just need to save the data. And here we got app created for us. Now after this, I'll go to PyCharm. Under bookmarks settings, I need to give the authentication for Google. So I'll copy it. Social core, backends Google. Here Google OAuth 2. Now after saving this, we will go to Chrome. Again to credentials. When I click here on plus sign, I need to go to OAuth client ID. Here I need to go for application type as web application. Name, I'll give the name of my project. Bookmarks. Then coming down below, authorized redirect URI. Here I'll give the name of my site. netsetos.org:8000 social auth complete Google #OAuth 2. After this, I'll create. It will take some time. After getting this client ID and client secret, I'll go to PyCharm in settings. Down below, I'll copy the same and instead of Facebook, I'll write Google. Facebook secret. Here I need Google secret. With this, I'll also add OAuth 2 underscore. The same I'll do here behind Google. And then I'll give the key and secret provided by Google Cloud. Now after providing key and secret to our settings, I'll go to login under account, templates, registration, login.html, and where I have returned this Facebook, I'll just copy this of li down below, and here instead of Facebook I'll give Google. Sign in with Google, and here Google OAuth 2. Now after this, make sure when you go to dashboard of API and services, enable APIs and services. I need to check out for Google Plus. Here we have Google Plus API. I click here and make sure it should be enabled. So I'll enable it. And here we got Google Plus API enabled. Now after enabling Google Plus API on APIs and services, but it's not running. I need to run the server. I'll go to incognito mode. Here I'll type nETSETOS.org:8000 account login. And here we got sign in with Google. Now when I click here it is asking me to authenticate with Google. Now when I give the email ID and respectively password, here it got logged in. So here we have seen how we can authenticate with the help of Google. So hope you liked my video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.